YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am going over my Smutty September TBR list. I am so excited! September. Every September on this channel is Smutty September. I try to devote extra time to smutty content because why not? Why not? September needs to have something special in it, and it's smut. I have a pretty ambitious TBR. There's a lot of books on it. Not all of them are smutty books because I can't just read all smut for a whole month. I will get bored. So there's kind of like a good mix match of all different types of things in here. I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be super fun. So yeah, let's get into the books I have on deck right now for Smutty September. First things first, I have Suddenly You by Lisa Kleypas. And this one seems actually kind of adorable and like very rom-com-y, so I'm hoping this one turns out to be really good. We're following this woman named Amanda, who is a novelist, and I'm Amanda the Naughty Librarian. I feel like we're gonna have a kinship here. But yeah, she's like nearly 30, she's unmarried, she's untouched, and she's like, I will be damned if I turn 30 and I have not had sex with a man. So as a birthday present to herself, she's like, I'm gonna hire me a male prostitute. So this guy shows up at her house and she's like, hey, like, let's do this. And then it doesn't happen for multiple reasons. And I think one of them is just like, he really likes her and he's just like, no, we need to be proper. And she's just like, take your pants off. So her love interest is a guy named Jack. He is kind of the bastard son of a nobleman and he's trying to make his own way. I don't know if that's through prostitution or something else, but yeah, and then, you know, romance somehow. But I'm kind of liking like a dash of Pretty Woman vibes here, and I don't know, it seems really fun. It could be really fun. Fingers crossed, I'm hoping, because my biggest problem with Lisa Kleypas books is that the male leads are usually garbage humans. So I'm hoping Jack isn't a garbage human, essentially. If not, then I think this will be pretty fun. Another romance I have on deck for Smutty September is A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher. This one I'm not sure how smutty it's going to be, but it's definitely a romance, and it's a fantasy romance at that. In this one, we're following this woman named Kat. She is kind of hiding out in a traveling circus as like a soothsayer. She has the ability to discern truth from lies, and she's cool with this. She's content. She's hiding out because, you know, the gods and her homicidal mother are just like out to fuck her, and she's like, I'm having none of this. I'm gonna go hang out with the circus. And then her best laid plans go awry when Griffin comes into her life. He is a guy who's just conquered some lands, and he's just like, listen lady, I know you're the kingmaker, this lady who can tell truth from lies, and so you are going to help me do stuff. And then he's just like, oh wait, but I like you instead. And then possibly romance. This is a trilogy, so I don't know if this is going to be a slow burn or not, but I definitely like the premise. I do want to read like a good like smutty fantasy. There's not a lot of smut in fantasy, and I want to see that, damn it. So this one seems really fun. I've read other things from Amanda Boucher before and have enjoyed them, so fingers crossed this one is going to be really good. I'm going to read 2 books by Lindsay Sands this month. What? I'm going to do it. First book I'm going to read is Love is Blind, and this one seems really, really adorable. Totally a rom-com. It's gonna be light and fluffy book candy. So this one is Adrian and Clarissa, and Adrian's kind of like a devil-may-care duke, and he has to find a wife, and he's just like, oh, I'll just get like Clarissa, and everyone's like, no, don't, she is a disaster, and he's just like, I can handle it, and then he's just like, oh my gosh, you are a disaster. And she's going into like the normal trope of like rom-com heroine where she's just adorably ditzy and klutzy. And one of the main reasons is that her mother will not let her wear her glasses, so she literally just can't see where she's going. So she's just like Mr. Magoo everywhere, trying her best. And romance. And I just kind of like the premise. I don't know why. It's so stupid. You know what I mean? It's like fun stupid though. It's like, yeah, I can't see where I'm going, and like calamity happens. It's so dumb, but like so fun. So yeah, it's book candy. It's gonna be a light, fun read. I'm just gonna have fun with it. And then I'm gonna get my guilty pleasures in with Hunting for a Highlander. I'm so excited. This is the most recent book of this Highland Bride series. I believe I'm going to have to wait till next year to get the next book of the series. I'm out of guilty pleasure romance books from Lindsay Sands. What am I going to do with my life? This one is following Geordie Buchanan, yet another Buchanan brother. I think there's still a couple left. that they can write books about, and then a bunch of new characters have been like involved. So this series should just keep going on and on forever. But yeah, so this is Geordie Buchanan, one of the few unmarried Buchanan brothers, and Lady Dwin. It seems to be recycling another book of the series already. Like, Geordie's been away for a while, he gets home, and his home is just filled with ladies, and he's like, wait a minute. And apparently these are all eligible ladies for marriage, and they've been sent there to, like, he has to pick one. And so I don't know why, like, it's like kilty bachelor, and I'm like kind of into it, even though she's done another book in the series exactly like this. But I mean, all of the books are kind of the same anyway, so it's like they meet, and she, you know, and she's full of the trope of I'm not like other girls, and then they meet, and then he likes her, and then there's probably gonna be a murder mystery. Someone's gonna try to kill her, and they have to solve it, because that's literally all of the books in this series. But I like them. They're dumb fun with kilts, and yeah, it's adorable. It's book candy. It's just gonna be a fun, like, smutty romp. I'm also going to read Here to Stay by Adriana Herrera. This is a kind of contemporary romance, perhaps enemies to lovers, a little bit of workplace romance. We're following Julia. She moved to Texas from New York because of her boyfriend, and then the boyfriend ditched her, moved back to New York. So she's like, okay, and now she lives in Texas. But things work out for the best. She's living her best life. She's working for this company, and she basically runs like their charitable division. So she's in charge of the charitable stuff the company does. And then in enters Rocco, a hotshot guy from New York City who's here to clean up the company. And he's just like, hey lady, like, I'm getting rid of your job. And she's just like, the hell you are. And then sparks fly, you know, through anger, and then also through sex. So I don't know, I just wanted like a fun contemporary, and this one I just got recently, and I was like, yeah, all right, Smutty September, batter up, let's do this. I'm also going to read, for a change of pace, I'm going to read Goddess in the Machine by Laura Beth Johnson. This is a pretty anticipated read for me. I've been super into this book ever since I saw the cover come out. I think like either the beginning of the year or last year, I saw the cover and I was like, sold, give me the book. This is about this girl named Andra. She went into cryogenic sleep. She was gonna wake up sometime later on this planet with colonists and just, you know, live her life. She's just doing her thing. Whoopsie daisy, she wakes up 1,000 years later. And civilization has changed a bit since then. Because now this civilization has grown around this woman in a cryogenic sleep chamber, so they kind of think of her as a goddess. And so she wakes up and she's like, oh! And of course there's also, you know, a dangerous prince who's like going to use her to get back his throne and stuff. And here's the thing, when I hear like, I was in cryogenic sleep and I woke up 1,000 years too late, or X amount of years too late, love. I don't know why that trope always gets me, but it does. And yes, it's a trope. There's several books with that premise, but I always just like, I'm immediately interested in it. I love it. So yeah, Goddess in the Machine. It's a debut, and it's been on my radar for quite some time, and I just want to read it. I want something like sci-fi just to mix up all the romance. I need something different. I am also going to read Queen of the Conquered by Case and Callender. This one is quite a departure from Case and Callender's other book I read this year, but I still wanted to read this one because I really enjoyed the other book. This is about a girl named Sigourney fighting back against colonizers, and I'm into it. I think it's like, you know, loosely based around real events. Obviously not real events, but loosely inspired by. And she is just out for revenge because her family was murdered. She's the only one left. And then the king of her conquered people is like, I'm choosing a successor. And she's like, me, I volunteer as tribute. She wants some revenge on some jackass colonizers. And I'm like, yeah, okay. People standing up to colonizers. Intrigued, into it. Also the cover, gorgeous. I love the name of the book. I like the author's other book, even though it's a contemporary rom-com and completely different from this story. But I've been wanting to read it, and I think it's like a good contrast to the other books I'm reading. So I have so many light, fluffy books that I also need some books that are a little meatier just to like balance things out. I'm also going to be reading The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. We're following this kid named Michael, and he is a mixed race queer teen, and he's coming of age and like trying to figure out who he is in the world, because I believe he's Greek and Jamaican, and he never really feels Greek or Jamaican enough, and also he's queer, so he has a lot of stuff going on. And I do believe he also finds drag as an outlet in this book, and I love drag. I love Drag Race, I love drag queens, I love it. So already I'm in. And I was actually kind of flipping through the book the other day because I actually hadn't done that before, and I'm only realizing right now that this isn't like an actual narrative novel, it's a poem. It's a poem book. I sound real intelligent right now. But yeah, this is actually a book of poems. I thought it was a narrative story, but it's poems, so I don't really know how I'm gonna like get into the story or not, or what have you. It's just different. It's a different format than I was expecting, so I'm, you know, cautiously optimistic. It still could be really good and poignant, but like I was expecting a narrative, and that's not what the book is, so I don't know. It's kind of like I'm confused now, because I thought it was going to be something different than it is, but I haven't even read it yet, so maybe I'll like it. Who knows? We'll find out together. Back to some smutty delights. I have Getaway Girl by Tessa Bailey. I have had this on my shelf for quite a while, and I just wanted to read it. It's one of her earlier works, and fingers crossed I really like it, because I really liked her other books of Fix Her Up and Love Her or Lose Her. I really liked that series quite a bit. Fix Her Up was one of my favorite books of 2019 or 18, some year before. I don't remember which one it was. But I really enjoyed that book a lot. So I want to read more things by Tessa Bailey in a different series. This is Addison and Elijah. Addison is kind of a wild child type character, and she shows up back in town after like 6 years to go to her estranged cousin's wedding, and she gets there, and wouldn't you know, her estranged cousin, you know, the bride, doesn't show up. She jilts the groom, and so somehow she gets roped into being a getaway driver for the groom, and then, you know, oddest thing happens, romance with her estranged cousin's jilted groom. Already, like, the drama is high just from like the blurb on the back, and I don't know, I just want to read it. It seems like a ludicrous plot, frankly, but like I like Tessa Bailey's other books so much that I definitely want to read something else. This is an earlier book though, so I don't know how I'm gonna take it. It might be better, or it could be the equal, or it could be worse. I mean, that tells you nothing. I don't know how I'm gonna like this book yet, but like I'm into it. I like the author enough that I want to try out different works by them. Also on deck, I have Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I have been meaning to read something by Kennedy Ryan for literally so long, like so long. And I just got this book recently, and I was like, you know what? I could just stop saying I need to read Kennedy Ryan by simply reading something by Kennedy Ryan. So I'm like my own worst enemy here. So I'm just like, all right, let's read it for Smutty September. Perfect. This is like a high drama romance set in the NBA, and I was like, oh my goodness, yes. I kind of like sport romances, and this one is just like full of drama. It's a bit of a love triangle situation. The blurb on the back doesn't list any character names, so I don't know who these people are, but there's a woman. She was dating an NBA player, and then it ended very poorly. He was kind of a jerk. And then time has gone by, and now there's a new NBA player who's come around, and he's like kind of awesome, and she's just like, hey, sup? And he's just like, sup? And then like old boyfriend's like, no, and then he's getting in the way. So I'm just expecting all of the drama. Oh, it's gonna be so juicy. It's gonna be a juicy drama book. I'm into it. But yeah, Kennedy Ryan's one of those authors gets frequently recommended to me, and I know I should read something by Kennedy Ryan, and I'm doing it. I am doing it this month. Smutty September, saving the day. I am also going to read Lobozona by Romina Garber. This one sounds so cool. It is about, I think, Argentinian immigrants who are undocumented. So you have the whole backstory of undocumented people and what their life is like, what their struggle is, and also werewolves. There's gonna be a lot of like Argentinian like heritage folklore type of story here, and also magic, and we're following this girl, and she's trying to escape like her dad's family from Argentina who are like bad guys. So she's in America, and then her mom gets arrested by ICE, and her grandma gets hurt, and she's like, oh no, I'm a werewolf. too. Like, she has a lot of things going on. And yeah, I mean, you just had to say it's about Argentinian immigrants, undocumented people, and werewolves. I don't need to know anything else about the plot. I already want to read it. It already sounds super cool. So, totally into this. So excited to read it. I wanted to read something else by Romina Garber for a long time. I read her other series, which is like 4 books, and it's like campy good fun. So, I'm really excited about this one. This is like very different than her other series, so I'm excited. Last book on deck is the book of the month for the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club, which is By Force Alone by Lavi Tidar. And ooh, I've been wanting to read this for so long. This is kind of a sarcastic gangster type story about King Arthur. And mind you, yes, Guy Ritchie did make a King Arthur movie that's similar in tone. And honestly, I liked it. I thought it was really good, actually. I know everyone hated it, but it's actually surprisingly pretty good. And this one seems like in the same vibe. I'm totally into it. Like in the blurb here, I'll just read you this one bit. It says, King Arthur's legend boldly reimagined by award-winning author Lavi Tidar as Excalibur colliding with Scarface. What part of that doesn't sound amazing? Like, none of it. That sounds awesome. I'm pretty excited about this one. I've been wanting to read it for so long, and the live show will be the last Saturday of the month of September, which I believe is September 26th, and that will be on Leanna from Leanna's Library's channel, and we're gonna discuss the shit out of this book. It's gonna be real fun, so I hope you guys can read it too and join in. It'll be a good time. Alright, so that does it for Smutty September. Most of the books I'm reading are Smutty books, but then I had to mix up some other books too, but the vast majority are Smutty books. And throughout the month of September, I do like to try to put out more Smutty content in general, so be on the lookout for like some Smutty book hauls, some other videos about romance, and it's just gonna be fun. Why not? Like I said before, September needs something special, and its speciality can just be Smutty books. Why not? Let's do it. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you have on deck for September? Are you also going to make it Smutty September? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye!